What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. How are we doing, guys? It's my first stream in a long time on this channel. A long time. Make sure you hit that like button. It would be appreciated. I got that music playing in the background. We'll turn it down a little bit. Got that music playing in the background. Funny story. I actually got that music from the game, obviously, in 2018. I had it on a Google Drive. I used it for my background music in my videos all the time because then I didn't have to play music while I was doing stuff. Because in-game sounds were kind of janky sometimes and they could mess up, whereas the background sound never messed up on the audio there. So it's kind of cool. But how are we doing, guys? How are we feeling? How are we feeling? I'm just making sure everything's working correctly on this channel. And I'm hoping to pick some of your brains on content you'd like to see when it comes to stuff with RTS. Basically, obviously RTS has shut down. We all know this. I get messages quite a lot, people talking about how they missed the game, how they only just found out that it shut down. Even up at like this week, people are like, only just found out it shut down. And I'm pretty sure this is going to happen for months to come. But I'm going to cover as much as possible when it comes to the actual game itself. With regards to like the history of the game. And if you saw my previous video earlier this week, I did touch on it a little bit. I just wanted to see how people were doing, but also just give an idea of my thoughts and what I plan to hope to do. But hopefully some of you have some ideas. We can just kind of mull over some stuff and talk about stuff when it comes to potential of some things you'd like to see, so that in the years to come you could always come back, because the game's never going to be here, but my content's going to be here that you could just check it. You might be able to see some character art, so on and so forth. That sort of thing. So if I've got some overlays that I've made. Just give me a second. Made this overlay. That's the wrong one. This is the correct one. Okay, this is what I did in my video. This is just like some quick ideas I came up with. It just makes sense in terms of an AMA, which means you can ask me any questions. And when I say an AMA, I'm going to go all in on this. Where like, if you ask me, how do I feel about insert person here in the community, how I feel about other content creators, how I feel about people from Scopely, I will just tell you 100% the truth. There's nothing to hold back on it in this. It's just to get it out. And I'll do that in a specific video. If we get a lot of questions, then it'll probably be over 2 videos. And I'm probably going to have a section in my Discord, just having an area where you can ask questions as well. So I think there'll be 3 areas. There'll be a video that I post. You can ask questions in the actual video comments. You can ask questions in a Discord channel that I'll have to create. And probably a post on my community page, so that basically I can get as many questions as possible. Pretty simple as that. I thought I was tripping that this is an old VOD, but hold on, we live. We are live. What's up, Mr. C? What is up? What is up? How are you feeling, man? Turn this up a little bit, actually. Then the multiple tier lists. This will be, some tier lists are fun. You know, the most hated characters of the 5-star era, that sort of thing. But also just like my favorite characters, stuff like this. Characters that I enjoy playing the most, or like the best era or the best events. I've got a lot of ideas for tier lists. There's so many ideas for tier lists. I'm writing all the ideas down separately. Now, when it comes to player CC and staff interviews, I have messaged a couple of people to see if they'd be interested, and I've got a little bit of like comeback on that, which is cool. It'll probably be individual interviews, and they would be reasonably short. They wouldn't be like 45 minutes. They'd be like a 20-minute interview or 15-minute interview, just talking about stuff they liked in the game, what they're playing. It'd be people who were known to my stream or were important within the staff area of the game. So if I did manage to get someone from the staff, that'd be great. Someone who's, you know, well known within the game. Potentially talking about where they've gone on to, what projects they've gone on to, so on and so forth. But also, I would ask them, you know, some penetrative questions. They don't have to answer, of course, but in terms of like the decline of the game and so on and so forth. But most of that stuff, especially if they still work for Scopely, they would not be able to answer that. So it is what it is. What other games are their thing? I'm probably going to do a video separate like that. why RTS shut down. It's just simple. I'm just going to make a video on that. And then some RTS history videos. I do plan to do like a history of World Champions video. I've got a lot of information. Like, I have to make sure it's really, really thorough. But I've got a lot of information about the history of World Champions. I was collating that a lot before the shutdown just because I was planning to do this in December. But like I said, I had a bit of a break. In terms of placements of all the World Champions, so on and so forth. I have actually covered a lot of them as well in my YouTube videos. So that's obviously great. But do you guys have any ideas on kind of topics you'd like to see videos on? And I've got like another 6 pinpoints here that you can put your info in, and I'll actually add it to the stream overlay. So if you have any thoughts, feel free to hit me up. I think this is a little bit badly positioned. Let me just reposition it a little bit. There we go. And then I can just write live, I believe. I just write 1, 2, 3. There we go, 1, 2, 3. Simple as that. But I'll just check in with stream. How you doing, guys? What's up, Valiant? Guaran? Hub, what's up, Hub? Alfie, welcome to the stream. Yappy as well. What's up, Bretlam? Be back soon. Got a DC Dark Legion event about to start. It's all good. It's all good. Hello, survivors. Yeah, it's been a while. It has been a while, hasn't it? Especially on the streams, for sure. Will TWD RTS to come back? I mean, I would say it's not a 0% chance, but it's not a very high percent. I'd say it's like less than 1% chance, which means it's very, very small chance. It's kind of like, it's kind of asking pretty much any question that is realistic, but it's very, very, very unlikely. You know, The Walking Dead itself is gone. You know, there's no TV show anymore, really. Like, the main TV show's gone. The comic's long gone. And this game was based on the comic. The Walking Dead as a franchise is in massive decline. Massive decline, you know? The game is over 10 years old, pretty much, in terms of the actual design, because they obviously were making it before they released it. And it didn't really get an update. It didn't really get any fresh update. They were within the kind of limits of the original design. Whereas you might have played an MMORPG or even a gacha game where things did get improved over time, where things did get updated, where things, you know, maybe a new engine was... This just never happened for artists, at least not that we knew. If they did it, they would have probably announced it, so I don't think that's going to be something that actually happened. Oh, Cool Troller as well, welcome to the stream. I want to thank RTS and you for great memories. One I remember was S-Class releasing around my 18th birthday, and me and my old girlfriend going to a Mexican restaurant and me playing RTS in the car and picking James first. Such great memories. Yeah, I mean, I believe some of the early phases of each era were really good. I think the first few months of every era was really good, and then obviously it declined the second they started doing power creep, and that's just, you know, that's how it goes. And that's what I also are talking about, like, what was the best version of RTS in terms of like which era, but also like a combination, like what era had the best character design, what era had the best character acquisition, which era had the best event design. So like, what would have been the best overall like potential coming out of RTS? Because I think different eras definitely had obviously better things. Simple as that. I think I can just give some sneak peeks now. I think the 5-star/6-star era had the better events. Some of the better events, because they had entire game-wide events, and they also had entire game-wide like raid events, like tournaments, where you compete against other people in other servers, and the top person would get an actual character. Like, I remember Shiva be given away and stuff like that, which was sick. I think Mythic era had some really cool, like, long form events where basically, you know, Mythic Trials was really good. Got a character in people's hands. It had a theme. I think they didn't run with that very well. When I was in PC, I did say like they should do things about, like, they should do a Whisperer War Mythic, Mythic trial, where it's like it's all about Whisperer War for like 8 weeks. Whisperer War was massive in The Walking Dead. They never really like fully gripped the lore, in my opinion. But I mean, I think they did a good job, but not fully. Okay, sorry, I'm missing content. I thought I was tripping yet. When is the next gold brick turn? Yeah, that'll probably be a video in itself, Bretlands. When the next gold brick character is. Feeling good. I bought too much candy for Easter. Yum yum. S-Class Jesus Disarm. All. The issue with Jesus, right, was everybody got him. It was like, oh my god, he's so OP. Everyone's getting for free. This is so good. Yikes. Also, YouTube hates me. It does not want me to respond to that comment. They hated me or something. Yeah, sometimes it can be like that. I'm not sure. It's weird. I just saw the stream. Don't tell me TWS is coming back. It is not coming back. Not that I know of. I'd be very surprised if it did. I'd be extremely surprised, but yeah. But yeah. What's up, Nathan? Welcome to the stream. I'm actually having a hard time finding a similar game. What are you guys playing right now? That's another video that I'm going to be making, as you can see. What am I playing? What other games are there? But I'm playing a game called Watcher of Realms. And I'm having quite a lot of fun with that. It's very different to RTS's Tower Defense. But I will say, I've never played a gacha game that is so generous. They give away so many free pulls. Like, I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pulls. I play another gacha game at the moment, which is Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus, quite casually. And they don't give away anything. Like, it's an iron fist grip on the summons. They don't want you to actually get any pulls for free. So yeah, it's really nice to play a game that is very, very generous with it. Tier list or personal favorite or character aesthetic? Yeah, that's pretty much. The tier list is just gonna be so many different tier lists, for sure. Maybe they should try making a new game. I mean, Scopely are almost definitely making a new game, without a doubt. They will be wanting to make new games, especially if they lost a reasonably big catalog name. Like, as much as The Walking Dead is declining, everybody knows what The Walking Dead is, right? Like, most people know what The Walking Dead is. It was a big name, so that if a company found out, oh, this company makes a mobile game for The Walking Dead, officially, it'll be like, yo, that's a big deal. That's why they've also got other big games like WWE, the Star Trek. I think they also acquired Marvel game. What is it? I can't remember what it's called. Marvel Strike Force. They also got Strike Force, so they've got quite a lot of big names. Obviously, The Walking Dead isn't as big as some of those, but it's just a big catalog, and they just lost the name, so they might be trying to get another one. What characters, events, or things you always wanted to see and never got to? True. Things that I think they missed the kind of boat on, in terms of like what they could have done. But yeah, I got a crap ton of fishing lures for Easter, so that's nice. Fishing lures. Presents for Easter. I didn't get any presents for Easter. I might have got an Easter egg. I'm going to my parents in a couple of weeks because my brothers are on vacation at the moment, so I'm just gonna wait until they're back and then just gonna all meet up again. A good yeah, there's quite a few players in it. I mean, obviously I'm doing some content on Watcher of Realms, and there's quite a few like people you might recognize. There's actually, I think there's an entire factions of RTS players in that game, which is actually really cool. S-Class, and it's not even close to me, but I have to say it was better that the pulls could give you straight up tune if you're lucky. Yeah, I think some, like the pulls version, it was definitely S-Class. I liked the way you could get shards, right? And I hated the fact that they made out that shards was a bad thing and it took too long to get a character. It wasn't. It was really good. Everyone was always working towards something, and a person who was free to play could have 1,000 shards of a whale character, like a really powerful character, and they'll feel like they're getting there. Now, I think they probably could have done it better. Like, they do it better in Marvel Strike Force, where like you only need 100 shards to get the character, but you need more shards to tier them up. I think that would have been a better way to do it. Whereas in RTS, it was like you needed 10,000 shards to get the character. But at least it felt like you were progressing still. I don't know. Currently playing King Arthur. I have had that recommended to me by Valiant in the channel. I have looked at some stuff, but it's quite different than what I'm used to. The graphics look pretty interesting, for sure. What's up, Daylight? Welcome to the stream. What's up, Lord Bradley? What's up, what's up? RTS is coming back? Almost definitely not. less than 1% chance, and it's like means it's like in the 0 point percentage. I've not heard anything. I never heard a gacha game really come back properly. And it would be for official, you know, means. And if it did come back, it would be, I don't know how they'd do it, honestly. They'd have to pick an old era, basically. They would have to make it kind of like classic mode. But I wouldn't keep your hopes up, you know. I still haven't installed it and get pop-up notifications about upgrading captain levels. I just uninstall it unless you're really desperate for something. I don't know. They're never gonna do anything with the app. If anything, there's more likely you could have issues through having the app on your phone still. Like, I don't know how much of a vulnerability that would be. Not that the Scopely would do anything, or even Apple or Google would obviously do anything, but it's whether that's, you know, it's an unupdated app on your phone. I don't know what that could potentially do. Did they get Pokemon Go as well? Oh my, loads of chocolate. I'm hoping. I basically told my mum, if I ever get Easter eggs, just get me the Cadbury's one. What is it? Not Cadbury's. Is it Cadbury's? The cream egg, but just the giant cream egg. And then the giant cream egg has like a couple of cream eggs in it. I love cream eggs. That's pretty much the only chocolate I really like when it comes to Easter. We'll have to get a timeline video, man. That would be difficult, but I'll try my best. 5-star to Mythic and throwing in old screenshots and clips. I could do like a speed run of it, rather than like it would miss out some stuff, but it is the way it is. And I fortunately my channel has got a lot of things in terms of the dates, except like for the first year of the game, I didn't do any content. I think it was about the first year. Maybe it was about the first year, and it might have been about the first year and a half. I think I started in December or January, the year after it had come out. It came out in August. Oh my god, I can't remember what year. August 2015? That sounds about right. August 2015, and I started making content in December 2016. So it was quite a bit after it came out. Obviously my rise to fame as the most famous, you know, amazing content creator in RTS. So humble. He's such a humble guy. A classic montage, yes. It's a type of fishing lure. Yeah, I mean, I even saw topping like I've actually been watching random fishing videos recently. I don't know why. It's just kind of chill to watch someone go fishing in like a kayak, you know? It's kind of interesting. I don't go fishing. I don't fish. But I've watched some content on it for sure. What's up with Sebastian? Welcome to the stream, man. For RTS to come back, they need to redo the codes. I mean, they wouldn't necessarily, but they'd have to do something, right? They made like a huge 20 kilograms one last week. Wait, what? A huge what last week? Also, King Arthur just came out a few months ago, so there are updates and recommendations on the game have been improving. It's very different, but again, it's kind of the same tier changes, Guild Wars. Yeah, I mean that's the same with Watch of Realms, which I play. It's coming up to its 2nd anniversary, and they're still doing really good updates. So, like big updates. I'd say it still has its problems. Personally, I'm end game, and there's not much to do. Oh, they do a 20 kilogram cream egg. Okay, there's no way I could have linked that together. I was like, I thought you were talking about fish. I was like, 20 kilogram fish, a cream egg. Yeah, that isn't gonna happen. That isn't gonna happen. That'd be really bad. Because I would 100% eat it. I would 100% eat it. Fishing Planet is the closest we've got to realistic. I've not played any fishing games. What character did you think be the biggest problem for the longest? Oh, definitely the trader. When I saw his, because I talked to, I can talk about this stuff now. When I talked to the character designers, and I knew about characters like 3 months before they were coming out a lot of the time. I didn't necessarily know exactly how they were going to be. But I knew a rough blueprint about how characters were, and then they'd want my input basically because I had a lot of experience with how characters worked and design. I could see if there were issues. Like I'll be asked them, "Is this what you're trying to do?" Like, and they'd say, "Yes, this is," and they said that seems good. But then if there was something that was wrong, so sometimes there'll be a buff that wouldn't last as long as they potentially would hope for. Like, let's say you had a signature skill buff that had a 2-turn, that lasts for 2 turns, right? And they'd want it to last long enough that it would affect their adrenaline rush. Obviously this is very minor, but like it would have to last 3 turns to affect their adrenaline rush like more consistently, because one of the turns of a buff was always the turn you cast it, which is always the thing in RTS. So those sort of just small things, it's basically kind of like, you know, they're saying 2 heads better than 1. That I wasn't the only person that got spoken to. I was the only person that got spoken to for a very long time, and then some other people got brought in, and then the character designer changed. It became Link, and then I think she was chatting to a lot of people as well. My sound is popping in and out. Is it? Hopefully it's okay. Oh, okay. So it wasn't me. It was you. Thanks. I was just like sitting here like, what can I do to fix this issue? When will the game come back? Probably never. Probably never. Now that RTS is gone, I gamble too much. I mean, RTS... I mean, a lot of people think gacha games are kind of gambling games, and I guess they can be for some people for sure. Hey, what's up, Naruto? Yeah, I appreciate the likes, guys. I appreciate the likes. So what we think about with kind of content, like a history. Someone said a timeline. Was that you, Kangs? I think you said a timeline. I mean, that's different than history videos. History videos will be very select. So history videos will be like, maybe I could actually RTS full timeline, full history timeline, or something like that, right? Does that make sense? I'll read your comment again. I like this idea. Let me clarify on the other one a little bit more. We want to say some RTS history, like specific. So, for instance, it would be like I do a specific topic on, let's say, War Champions. When we look at the timeline, it would just show War Champions was in December 2017. You know, that sort of thing. So it wouldn't be so like in depth and specific, and I wouldn't even maybe look at the results. It would just be like it occurred, or maybe I'd only show the top 3. You know. But then the specific topics history would go through a bit more. I think I've got like top 10 for every War Champion. Some of them I have top 50. Obviously, the ones I streamed, I have a top 100. I could try and write it all down, but it'd be it'd be tough. I think it was Kangs who said that. Let me just scroll up. Would love a timeline video. 5 stars. Yeah, okay. That's full history timeline. Cool. Question: how is yours and Link's baby getting on? Is that another baby I've had? That's crazy. I think it's like 3 or 4 by this point. Hey, what's up, Cygnus? How you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. Wendy Gate, definitely going to be talking about the gates. I think that's going to probably be a tier list. I'm going to do a gates tier list, like top 10 gates of RTS, because there's been so many. And Wendy Gate would 100% be in the top 10, without a doubt. Without a doubt, it was so good. It was so good. I know what my number 1 would be. I know what my number 1 is already. It isn't Wendy Gate. Wendy Gate was good because it was the first one. It was like, yo, this is crazy. But yeah, Wendy Gate was just hilarious. I wasn't part of Wendy Gate. My brother did though. I have to like fully remember where it was. Basically, like what you could do was you could sell characters for supply depot tokens, right? That's basically what the idea was. And they changed it where you couldn't. You sold characters for food after that, or at least like they changed it so Wendy sold for food, and people got thousands and thousands of supply depot tokens, and people were picking up like 5-star Andra really easily and stuff like that. Like they were getting The gates were the best. Honestly, fondest memories in RTS. Some of my fondest memories are definitely gates, without a doubt. Didn't a war give out coins instead of supply demo? I don't think it was coins directly, right? I think it was something else. Christmas Govgate. I don't remember that one. I'm gonna have, like, that's what I'm saying. I've got a lot of them on my channel. But yeah, the amount of tough engine knocking them after that was ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. And they didn't roll that back, which be I know they gave out something in War that they weren't meant to again, but I don't think it was like crazy problematic. It was just like, why are they doing that? And it was just kind of stupid. The lore video for Locke is a must. How did he survive the fall and what he did? Oh right, I've got to do a Locke fall video. I could use AI to make some more arts of that actually. Like, I think I could feed my AI my picture into it, the actual art of my character, and I might be able to get some like AI style stuff done of it. I could try and do that. We could do that for fun. That'll be a little fun video. Locke. What did you say? Locke. Lore. Character lore. RTS. No. The Walking Dead. It's not RTS. The Walking Dead character lore. I've got to play into everything. Like, had a gold brick in my pocket. I almost started singing a song. Got a gold brick in my pocket. No, I'm not going to do that. And I had a chicken on my shirt, right? So we've got to play into that. We've got to play into that. Human Shield was always the most bastard power. That's going to be in tier list. I'm going to do a tier list of specialist skills, without a doubt. Like, most broken. Or it might be like, I don't know what you call it, where basically it's like, it'll be like most game breaking, but also just most powerful. Because something can be powerful without being game breaking. Remember Comic Universes in 2003? Good to know. Good to know. I'll rewatch this video, but I'll just write 2003 and then I'll just delete it, and hopefully I see this when I rewatch the video. Do you know? I have to actually look that up in terms of like when the full. I'll be quite a few years younger at that point as well, which is nice. 20 years younger. I'll be 11 years old. Yeah. Oh no, wait. 1 year old. Damn it. Throwing it all over the place now. You had Clem's walkie-talkie also, so you have to tie in. Yeah. Exactly. I can proper tie into Telltale, but it won't be anything crazy. It won't be like I met them. I don't think I'm going to do it like I met them. I would have just found a radio somewhere. You know, it'll be like that. I won't be too over the top. Back in the days, supply points were pretty much the only way for free to make it 5 stars. Yeah, pretty much. I remember the I can't remember the tokens. What were the tokens called where you could get a 5-star? The gold ones. It was just a gold token, and you got a couple a month. It wasn't too crazy. They weren't called. Oh man, they removed them from the game. I can't remember what they were called. I remember when they did this. Some people won't remember this, but they did a raid event where they dropped these tokens in the raid events, and then if you had a really lucky drop, you could get 5 of them. It was so good. I can't remember. I think it was just 5-star tokens. No, I don't think it was 5-star tokens. It was something else, because like you had the basic token, which were called like oh man, I'd have to go back on my videos to find out. And they kept the basic token, but they got rid of the or did they get rid of the more advanced token? I think they didn't, but it obviously became useless. Back in the days, the Locke lore would be interesting. Oh, to wiki once it comes out. Okay, it's like that. It becomes an official. It becomes an official thing. That's actually hilarious. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Is the last person who joined still on the fences waiting for the walkers, or did you let them know they can go home now? They didn't go home. They're part of the community. Being on the fences just means you're defending the kind of town or whatever. They're still there. They're still there. It's not a super hard job. It's fairly safe. You're getting mentored / supervised. You know. You smashed up. What Valiant? Chill out, bro. Chill out. Yeah, I can't remember what happened to the walkie-talkie in the actual game. I think they just lost it. Or it was, I think one of the walkie-talkies was actually on Krista. I don't even remember what happened to Krista. I think she just disappeared. I don't even remember what happened. It's mad. For example, in the timeline, 5-star era, go into the early days of RTS, the old UI, no armory, eagle eye, Android teams, primitive events, and war. Keep those type of topics as the framework. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I remember the first event. Do you guys remember the first event? I might do like a look back on... I mean, this is kind of like specific history, but maybe not on certain events. Maybe like drama, so I could like talk about PC. Not PC, Players United. Okay, maybe not. I can't do that. Verton? Do I mean certain? Certain topics. So this could be like Players United. I will probably put that in the timeline as well with Players United. This will also be basically drama of the first event. If anyone remembers the first event, it was basically like you had to get the heads of characters, right? And the hard head to get was, I think, Michonne's head. And they made this month-long event, and it seemed pretty like grindable. No one had played an event like this before. And they did like what became a reasonably classic Scopely move was in the last 3 days they told people how to get the Michonne head, and you got like 3 pools as a free to play, and it was like they didn't show the odds back then, obviously, no odds, and you got 3 pools as a free to play, and then you had to buy it, and it was just like, yo, what? And it was to get Negan, and Negan wasn't even that good. He wasn't that good. He wasn't that good. He was, I would say, it's pretty bad, honestly. But yeah, it was terrible. And it wasn't, if they would have just told us from the start, this is how it's going to be, people would have maybe been mad, but it's just like, fine. But they didn't. They were like, oh yeah, grind in the event, guys, go crazy. And at the end, it's like, yeah, here's your 3 balls. It was just so bad. Oh man. I'm still salty. Yeah, it's so long ago, but I'm still salty. Now the NDAs are done, the real story of some of the whining from PC, oh man. Some of the whining from PC was just... It was hard to deal with some of them because they were obviously trying to do things for themselves. Like 100% trying to do things for themselves. So all the decisions that came through, it was not about they weren't the players' council in that. It was like, what can help me and my faction? You know? The majority of the people that I dealt with were fine though. But there was definitely a few that were just like, how can it benefit me and how can it benefit my faction? And the amount of people, it was basically one of the latest versions of the PC that was the worst, just because they had a lot of leakers in it as well. Like they'll get the information as much as possible to tell their faction on like how to prepare for certain things and stuff like that. It was terrible. Like strangely enough, a lot of the Walkers guys got really bad rep, but they didn't seem to publicly do it too much at all. It did help that a couple of the biggest spenders of Walkers were in PC anyway. They didn't really need to tell the biggest spenders in their faction. But I didn't notice that they were doing any. They weren't trying to like find out information consistently. You know, it was kind of obvious who was doing it. But yeah, it was AoE Negan. Yeah, never got to go to Walk for all my time. Was it worth it? It was cool to go to. You got a character for free, but really, War Champions was only really like a top 6 event. in that, like, realistically, only 6 factions could come in the top 3, and only 2 maybe could come first. I think there was maybe 1 World Champions that was like a really open race, where it was honestly like 3 factions could win. And it was the one where, I can't remember their name, but they came 3rd. The faction that everyone thought were going to win, they came 3rd or 4th. I think they didn't even come podium. It was like they properly dropped off. It was. I think after that, Walkers got formed. It was the one before. It was basically before Walkers got formed, and they were like seen as the ones to win easily, but they came 4th or something. It was crazy. We didn't say shit. I mean, I didn't think anyone in Walkers did. I don't think anyone in Walkers did. Like the one before, and this is the thing that got me, right? I'm just gonna straight out say this. I didn't say this too much at the time. I did like kind of hint it, but I was in 2 PCs. I got asked to join every PC, but I turned it down every time because I didn't want to commit too much time. I was concentrating too much on my content. But I said yes to the PC. I think it was the first PC when Invisinerd became the CL, right? He asked me if I wanted to be in PC. I said yes. That PC did really good. They didn't listen to us, right? And they didn't listen to any of the PCs, but they didn't listen to us. And then that PC kind of like fell apart. It kept a couple of the members, and then a full new PC was formed, which was the last PC effectively. And the amount of people on Discord were like, finally we're getting some good people in PC. It's like, oh my god, why is Locke in there again? He didn't do anything in the last PC. And I was just like, it's going to be exactly the same again, but we'll see. And it was exactly the same again. They didn't listen. If anything, it got worse because we just stopped having meetings with the devs. Like, we used to have meetings with the devs, and it got a lot worse. But it's not down to PC. It's just how it happened. Was it like 225% adjacent? I mean, yeah, but for a 5-star it was okay, but he wasn't even like a top 5 character at the time, you know? It wasn't like they were giving away a character that was mental. PC was pointless. I don't think it was. Stuff did get done. Some stuff did happen. Like, basically, let's put it this way. Every store that came out, PC did have a bit of, like, insight. They did get a bit of insight from PC, and it would have been a lot worse if PC wasn't part of it. Some of the stuff they put forward was, oh, we want to do this. It was like, yo, what are you talking about? Like, it was so bad. Like, the Mythic Market resets and stuff like that, they would have been so bad if PC didn't have any input. It would have been so bad, trust me. Like, you say it was useless, but it would have been so bad. And then I can't remember what it was. There was a really big gate or a really big issue that occurred, and they had to do something. I can't remember what they had to do, but basically they were like, we need to give away something that's good, and what they were going to give away was like nothing. And we're like, well, this isn't really going to change anything. If you want to give something away, give people a choice of something that's good. And then in the end, I think they decided to give away that crate. Do you remember the crate where everyone got a character of their choice, and it was like Ghost was in there and everything? And that was because PC said, like, you need to give away a crate just to say basically, sorry, our bad. And that wasn't crazy. We said it's 1/5 of the character. It isn't that big a deal, and you're only going to be able to pick one of like the 30 that were in there. But everyone got to pick their one character, and people chilled that out after that. And I'll be honest, like, the other game that I play, they did a big mess up about people in my chat, 4 or 5 months ago, where they did that big mess up, and they gave away, everyone got 2 free characters. One was choice, you just got to choose from a list of like 15 good characters, and then one was RNG. So like, they knew what they were doing. But yeah, it is what it is. Hey, what's up, Mini Baker lads? Sorry, I'm kind of skipping past some stuff. I would think someone would open a pirate version. If this was just like, I don't know, if it was just like zombies and the pirate like ship of doom, you know, if it was like a game like that, someone could maybe pirate the game and maybe get away with it. Scopely might just be like, it's not even worth our time. But if someone did pirate a Walking Dead game, they get absolutely wrecked by Skybound, like instantly. because it is worth their time, because that's what they are, is Walking Dead. Well, then they are a little bit more than that, but they're massively Walking Dead. I wish we could access our town and do story. I wish that we could do that. Yeah. So it means someone could make a web version of the game that had certain minor things to it, and just not call it Walking Dead or have any Walking Dead-like visuals on it. I mean, you'd lose a lot. You couldn't get done for that, I'm pretty sure. It's surprising to know The Walking Dead No Man's Land, which came out a few months later than RTS outlived it. Yeah, but No Man's Land is about the... it's about the show, and the show has lived on. It's got other shows, right? But also, it's about... the game is just way better designed for the player. Like, I played No Man's Land and it was so good. I never felt bad about playing the game once, and I played it for a while. At no point did I think what the decisions they're making is messing me up or anything. They didn't do a reset at one point, and I played it for years. So like, I don't think they've done a reset since I've not been playing it. And they buffed characters that weren't good. They were like, we don't like this character. It's underused. We want to buff it, and they did it. It was like, yo, that's sick. There were definitely some issues with RTS, obviously. Sirens. I came by to say hi and going back to work again. Busy at the bakery during Easter. Have a good one. I'll see you later, MBL. Bye-bye. When they just randomly added Rosie after we sent them detailed arguments about who to add, the fight for one copy of May. That one copy was so hilarious. She's too strong. It's like, bruh, she's a terrible character. She just had a good leader skill. And I think they even counted her like within about a month of that one copy coming out. So they could have given out the full copy of the character. I thought that she wasn't really resellable at that point. And this is the bit that infuriated me. The amount of times I was like, devs, please, rerun Old Wheels. They didn't rerun some characters ever again. And you never even saw them again. Like, straight up, you never see them again. Not once. Like, I remember when they brought out the first characters, right? With the Ultra tokens and the Advanced tokens. Some of them they just never ran again. And I was like, they must have to pay to rerun these characters. Because they could just rerun them like a month later. Like, the original Wanderer that came out as part of Ultra or Advanced. I think it was Advanced, right? They never ran him again. And I had people asking me, oh, I want to get him. They didn't release him again for like another year and a half. As like a secondary character. That part infuriated me. And also, what was it? What were they called? Lone Wolves, yeah? All the PC were like, Lone Wolves is like the core team right now. You should be running that team constantly so people can buy it as they want to buy it. That's how you make your money. They weren't making enough money on the things they'd already released, and then it was like, then they had to release something new and more powerful so people would buy it. But it's just like they weren't making, what's the word? They just didn't make enough money on the things they already done, and they could have. Just rerunning would have been an easy way, and they just never reran the banners. Lone Wars destroyed all teams, but they only ran some of those characters once. You know what I'm saying? They only ran some of those characters once. I'm pretty sure they only ran Autumn once, and then it was like 3 months later when they ran someone else, but they'd already slowly started to counter that character. It's like, yeah, you need to have already ran this character like 3 times. I mean, in Watch of Realms Daylight, they're running characters. Last week they did. What did they do? They did Kamet, right, and Ares. That's the second time they've run that banner, and Kamet's been run like 10 times before, and he's still top tier because the game just doesn't power creep that much. Hey, old Tex, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? It has been a while. You see this on the screen, Tex? It says player CC staff interviews. Would you be down for that? Just a chat. It could be just me and you. It could be cool to get me, you, and Moon back on a video one time as well. Just some small things. Nothing too crazy. Like a 15-20 minute talk. Well, you know how it is. We talked for like, when we did our chats before, it would be like half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, and then I'd have to like make it 20 minutes. I'll message you. It'll be in the next month or so. Like I'm gonna be taking my time with this. I'm not killing myself over this. I'm just trying to kind of plan what I'm doing when it comes to wrapping up RTS content on my channel, basically. But yeah, Tex, you'd 100% be in here for sure, bruv. Even if I knew they're planning on bringing it back, I wouldn't get into RTS again. I mean, some people were like, I will be honest, it's a kind of weight off my shoulders on the game, because the game was in a really bad spot from a content creator's perspective. They weren't releasing anything new. I was really contemplating quitting. I nearly quit, guys, after the War Champions before the last War Champions. I actually stopped playing the game. I'll be completely honest. You saw I wasn't playing the game as much. I didn't join a faction that was warring. I wasn't doing war streams. I was not playing the game. I was doing content, but I wasn't playing the game. And then I was going to be like, by now, I would have already quit the game. Because, yeah, the game was just kind of done. It just became too monotonous for me. But yeah. If they wanted money, why couldn't they do better deals that didn't come across as... Some of this stuff was crazy. Like, I remember that they used to sell $200 weapons every 2 weeks as well. Like, when you don't realize how bad some games are until you play another game. And then, like, I've been playing a game that's really good, so it's gonna be tough to move on to any other gacha games in terms of just like how bad it is when it comes to stuff. I know some people in the chat have probably moved on to like Raid Shadow Legends, another game that's meant to be pretty tough. Oh, definitely Mr. C, 100%. Miss the people, don't miss the game, yeah. I mean, I missed certain elements of the game. I'll be completely honest. There were certain parts of the game was really good fun. When the game was alive, I missed the S-Class era. Like, just how the community was. Honestly, as a content creator in the S-Class era, it was great fun too. It's when the game was like popping as a content creator. Like, month on month, my channel was growing, right? And if my channel's growing, then the game's growing. Because that's it. Like, if I'm growing, the game has to be growing. If I'm going down, the game is probably declining too. Because it's just like, I reflect the game to a certain extent, especially if I'm releasing content heavily. And I was getting like 100 to 200 people on my streams during S-Class era. Like, I remember when a Battle Pass got released, it was like 300 to 400 people. You know? And then the decline after that was crazy. I should maybe quit at that point when they did a reset, but I hope for the best, but it is what it is. I mean, I think Mythic era was okay to a certain extent, but I think character acquisition is what killed it off quite heavily. Tacticus, yeah, I play a bit of Tacticus, a little bit. What's up, dog? I didn't even know RTS got taken down until a couple of days later. Yeah, I mean, it was taken down on the 28th of November, which is my birthday, Tex's birthday as well. So I streamed on my birthday with the game getting taken down. That was great fun. S-Class game was in good health. All locked at home, everything grindable. Yeah, pretty much. I didn't like the way they did certain things. Like, I didn't like the fact that free-to-play got Mercer, and 2 weeks after free-to-play, like one war of free-to-play having Mercer, they released, was it Axel? Instant hard counter. Like, it wasn't, he's not even a soft counter. Instant hard counter. And then obviously then they had Jackie. So she was available as a character. And then Free-to-Play got Jackie. One war. And then they released, what was it? Was it Halloween? Was it a Maggie? Was it Halloween Maggie? The rabbit ears or bunny ears or cat ears? They did the same with Jackie. Mr. C. See, I think Jackie was a better character because they brought out a soft counter to her, which was Michonne. That was so fun. I had Michonne. It was so fun to use soft counter against a heavy defense lead. Oh, Magna, that's it. Magna. Okay, it wasn't a Magna, it was Magna, yeah. It was so fun to use a soft counter against one of those defense leads because like there was a little bit of RNG, but it was enjoyable RNG. 3 of your characters always resisted the confuse. 2 didn't, but their mods could. So you could sometimes have all 5, and I was just like, yeah, you're getting destroyed. And I used to roll through Jackie teams. And then sometimes it would only be 3. And then like my Brutus would not be... Oh man, like Brutus release was just a proper good memory, but like Brutus would not get confused, and he could one-shot one of my characters. You know, could potentially. And then I think I had Alpha, strong Alpha as well, really good character in that team. I can't remember who my other character was. Rick, but that was it. Rick, Alpha, Michonne with the confuse resist weapon, Brutus the bear. The OG bear, and the leader was the character from the store that was from the League store. What was her name? I actually helped design this character. I can't remember her name though. She had a focus on her SIG. Ivanova, that was it. Ivanova, and that was easily the funnest time in RTS for me because I had 3 attack teams as a free-to-play. Whereas every other era, it was pretty much just 1 attack team because 1 attack team was obviously better than the rest of my roster against every team. Very few of the times was like, maybe every now and again it was a niche team that was decent against a particular defense team, but I had 3 attack teams against like, I think it was Jackie lead, Mercer leads, and I think there was another lead that was kind of prevalent. It was like the trader teams, I think. I think it was the trader teams. I don't think Jesus was around at this time. Jesus was near the end. But it was good. It was good, you know. I think there was also a team with Javi as a defense lead, but he was a little bit rare. Two Michonne's, no RNG. Yeah, okay. That's actually my favourite pull of all time, is my Michonne pull. I pulled Michonne straight up as an S-class. In her first thing. That is my best pull of all time in terms of how hyped I was from getting that. And I got like Alice. I got was it Holly with the scythe? I was pretty hyped about those characters, but Michonne straight up S-class. Blew my mind. That blew my mind. 4 Mr. Lewis in S-class. 4 Mr. Lewis. I knew a lot of people, like a lot of Wales went for 2 of him just because he was that powerful. I've seen 5 Mr. Lou teams, 1 S-class, and 4 legendary. The issue is with Mr. Lou teams is you could counter it, you just have 1 cleanse and it's done, but yeah. I was hoping for Mythic Telltale Season 4 characters, but we never got them. I do have some art on the characters they were meant to release for Season 4. Okay. That's another one. I have actually been requested this already. Unreleased characters. Because I did have some art of characters they didn't release. And I got the clear that I could use it. I got the clear, and I can talk about other characters. Like I can talk about a character now that didn't get released, and I don't have the art of. It was a Holly. There was a Holly that was going to come out that was new, that was looking pretty good. I think there was another Jesus. I didn't have the art of him, unfortunately. But there are characters I have the art of. That Mythic Lewis. We'll have to wait and see. Because I've got the Season 4 characters, you know. But there is a surprise character that I didn't even know existed. I was like, who? Yeah, it was a really bizarre pick. I don't know why they picked them. I'm glad you still talk to your fan base. I mean, it has been a little bit of a break. I haven't done any RTS stuff for about 4 months. I did a video at the beginning of the week just talking about stuff for 3 minutes. And I thought, I'd load up a stream because there are some people who don't have notifications turned on necessarily for videos and stuff and how that works, but live streams, YouTube kind of does notifications differently, and you know, might get a couple of other people in. Bleed Zach, yeah, there's definitely going to be a most annoying characters of all time tier list. Like Zachary, what was it? Is it multiple Zacharys are going to be in there? I think multiple Zacharys are going to be in there. Multiple traders potentially. Definitely there's going to be a Priya. Definitely there's going to be a Michonne. Who else? And there's definitely going to be at least one Negan. The OG payback can get. Oh, definitely. Erin was a leader, right? Attack lead. Hey, what's up, Mohammed? Welcome to the stream. Scythe was Pam? I don't think Scythe was Pam. It might not have been Holly. Who was the blonde woman who was one of Negan's wives that had a petticoat on that was green? That was the one I'm talking about. It was kind of fluffy green petticoat, and she had a massive scythe. And it was in the Amber, that's it. Oh, I got Amber. She was legit. She was legit. So good. So much fun. Legit, so fun. Yeah. Amber with Alice lead was a lot of fun. Even into the S-Class era a little bit as well. Because I used Alice lead, Amber, and then I had James in that team. And James early on in the S-Class era was nuts. Crazy good. He could take out entire teams, even with S-Class characters in it. Obviously, he fell off. You know, obviously he fell off. I think if you picked Krista, you were really unlucky. She wasn't that great. And I picked Krista on one of my regions, because this was back when I played 2 regions. I picked Krista on one region and James on the other. James was just nuts. Didn't they do another Amber that had a scythe? Oh, that might be the one that they didn't release. Sheila was another one. Sheila was one that was kind of interesting. All the Vengeance characters fall on the list. Not all of them, but some of them. I think Peacekeeper probably has to be on the list, right? It's a top 10 though. It's a top 10. I mean, Peacekeeper was rough, but there was ways to combat it. You know, we had camouflage change with it, and it wasn't like it was impossible. But yeah, they look like, yeah, that's why I said Holly as well. That's why I said Holly. It's weird how they made coins pretty useless after they got a bunch. Yeah, that's going to be kind of like the look back on certain topics. I'm going to look specifically at that topic of them changing it and why it happened. And I can tell you now that the reason why it happened is because of some of the people in chat right here. Because people in chat really like to have soft skin. And they decided to buy some Olay. Was it Olay? And it was an offer basically with the coins. What was that? The offers called? What was that called? It was called something when you went to the offer section. But anyway, it was an offer to do like you know where you could like play another game and get like Tapjoy. That was it, Tapjoy. You could play like another game and get 5k coins. That was a free to play heaven. I used to play other games and get like, I think there was a Final Fantasy one I did. I got 12k coins. I was like, yo, this is crazy. But then there was Tapjoy offers for Olay, and you'd buy Olay and it'd be like, I don't know how much it cost. Was it like $25? Or like $50, but the amount of coins they gave you was somewhere in the region of like $150 to $200 worth. So like whales would just be like, I'm buying mad amounts of Olay. And then like if they're in a relationship with, they had a wife or something, it was like, here you go, darling, I just bought this for you, a nice little gift. Oh, you're so kind. Yeah. What can I feel? I just think about you, that's all. Oh god. All the ones that you had to reach level 25 and I never got above 20. There was one I paid for ages just to get it done. I can't remember, like AFK Arena or something. I can't remember. AFK I think it was AFK Arena. Not that I ever did that. Tex definitely did. Tex definitely did. Tex's wife and daughters got all the Olay for that Christmas for sure. Oh, it was 100k coins with double coins. Okay, I'm just gonna write that in here. Olay, 100k on 2 times. How much did it actually cost? How much did that offer cost though? 100k. Like, was it $50 or something? For 50? I think it was 50, right? Or was it less than 50? That's when they started Ultra and Advanced coins. Yeah, yeah. And then they made the same issue of Ultra and Advanced, right? Oh no, they made a different issue of Ultra and Advanced. They gave too many Ultra and Advanced away as like extra rewards in all the offers. And then what Wales did was they were like, I'm not gonna pull for a character when they... No, it wasn't that. What was it? 5-star tokens. They messed up with 5-star tokens. That's it. You could get 180k. Okay. How much did it cost though? How much was the offer? Around 50. Okay. There was different tiers for more coins. Jesus. And is it 180k on 2 times? That's just nuts. 180 coins is just absolutely crazy for 50 bucks. Because didn't 8k coins cost 100? 8.8k coins cost 100 or something like that, or 8.5k, like in game. After you finish endgame vids of RTS, will you keep doing another Walking Dead content? I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. It probably will be more game related than Walking Dead related. I might check out some of the other... I'll also type Tapjoy here. It's probably going to go over the screen for you guys. Yeah, it is. So let's say Olay 2 times. There we go. You could spend like $100 on Olay and get like $350 worth of coins. Yeah, that's mad. Still have an SS from someone in Walkers, having almost 900k coins. Yeah. It's mad. And the worst bit is they could probably track this down and they'd be like, this is all legit. This is all legit coins. Remember that meeting about PK? I'm gonna call Tex out here. I remember the meeting about PK and Tex being like, nah, PK's fine, man. What are you talking about? PK's fine. And I had to explain to him like what happened last time. I went through this whole process, the whole storyline, and there was 3 devs in there, right? Oh no, I think there were 4 devs in there when I sort of told this story. This was in the first PC we were in, and 2 of the devs were like, I don't think that's gonna happen, and the other 2 devs were like, it did happen that way. We were here, like it 100% happened that way. And then they went away and they shit themselves. I'm just going straight up. They shit themselves because they realized they just released PK, and exactly what I said happened last time. It happened exactly the same way last time. It's going to happen again, and it started to happen. I said you're already starting to see it. You need to get on top of it right now. And they released Kenny the next week. Like he came out like instantly. He was meant to come out in like a month. They just released him straight away. They were like, oh shit, like this is bad. They released the whole Telltale event like I think like a whole couple of weeks early, just because I basically ran down what happened last time, what will happen this time, and the devs that were in that meeting just crapped themselves. I have to say, it was the worst. I never got good offers because my region difference. I never did the region thing. I never also did some people did the reset and stuff like that. I never did that. I just got some good offers from time to time. I did like a AFK Arena one that gave me 15k coins once, and Final Fantasy one where it gave me quite a lot of coins. Giving everyone a copy of PK didn't help. That was cool though. Be fair, that was cool. It's just messed up that it was the most ridiculous character in the game at the time anyway. Yeah, it was a bit messed up. Someone in my past faction mentioned RTS shut down because they're working on RTS 2. Was that just an April Fool's? I mean, they might be working on another game, but they're not working on RTS 2. They're not gonna release a game that doesn't have a comic book anymore, where the show's stopped, you know? We're more likely to get a game of something that's in like season 2. So like if it's gonna have an IP, think of something that has got an IP that's like rolling right now. You're more likely to get a game based on that topic, you know? They're almost definitely working on a game right now, but probably multiple games. Now, will it be like RTS? Who knows? Who knows? Could have done so much more of Armory. Yeah, I think they could have done, like, I held on to my 4-star weapon tokens for years. Years. Scope. Yeah, but they'll just manage the game as it is. I mean, like, I think they're going to be doing a game from scratch. You know? Now, I don't know what that would entail, but that'll be pretty interesting to see. Elaborate April Fool's coming. Now, there wasn't any statement from Scopely about RTS 2. That wouldn't go down so well. Could do an Invincible. Yeah, could do an Invincible game. I think there is an Invincible game out there, right? What's the female character who's pink called in Invincible? I think she's got her own gacha game. Earl was the worst placement ever, yeah. Earl somehow going from the Armory over to the like breaking into the mods building while I was doing combat mods was crazy. Knocking down the door, giving me crap mods all the time. There's the Earl emote, there he is. And then you know, I'm not gonna lie, must have brought up the fact that Wayland for Armory would have been a really, I think they, okay, here's the thing. I heard there was going to be a planned event in RTS where, or did it actually happen where it was an Armory event and Wayland was the Smith? I'm not sure. Did that actually happen? It might have actually happened. I think that actually did take place, but I did hear that was going to be a thing that was going to happen. But they're planning, they're obviously planning a lot of stuff. They had to plan like 3 to 6 months out. But yeah, the game disintegrated pretty much. It happened, okay. Let me in, I'm going to 5% upgrade. Oh, jeez. Stinky L, man, Stinky L. What about updates? I mean, updates, I think, goes into full RTS history. Like RTS full. Oh, that's actually probably a better way of saying. Full RTS history timeline. Wait, full history. Full RTS history timeline is probably better, right? RTS full. Whatever. The grammar here is terrible. He was the worst. He 100% was. I think the Armory update was sick though. When they did the new slot on the weapons, I think it was really good. It was a reset of weapons, but you could still use the original weapons you used. They planned that one quite well, because they gave you they made you, like, you make it 5-star, you get an extra weapon crafts. It was a bit better than it was before in terms of like characters you just couldn't use really. When will the game come back? Probably never. Very, very unlikely to ever come back, unfortunately. Or fortunately for some. What else do we want, guys? Some people have said they want to see character arts. I think there are Google Drives and stuff with character arts on there. I'm going to put the music on my channel. I can't remember the name of the person who uploaded it to SoundCloud, but I'm going to just message them and say, can I put the same files on my channel? They could have done more polls to gauge with communities' needs and wants. 100%. 100%. Hey, what's up, Flawless Taco? Welcome to the stream, man. I can't be the only person who's clicked the old app for the game just to see if it works somehow. I did open the game on my emulator, and it did just give me the old screen, you know. Game is gone, basically. I'm surprised that's still up. I'm surprised. I wonder how long they have to put that up for. Maybe 6 months? Maybe a year? I don't know. Yeah, what's up, Parko? So what games are you all playing, guys? I will probably do a video asking about like what games you're all playing. But I can kind of get some ideas. I've been playing a game that was released on PC a while back called Dave the Diver. Just chilling on that on my PC. I've been obviously playing gacha games and stuff, but Dave the Diver. I never thought I'd play it because I'm scared of the ocean, you know, but I am playing that game. Fortnite 2K, is that a new one? Raid Shadow Legends. I did download Raid Shadow Legends with someone's code and I have like 4 legendaries and I'm level 10. Because I got like a special code. NBA 2K. Oh, okay. I did play a 2K my career game once for quite a long time. That was quite good. Dave the Diver is amazing. Do you know they've got a Dave the Diver DLC coming out at the end of the year where it goes to the jungle? I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. My brother bought Dave the Diver. Well, I bought Dave the Diver for my brother while he's on vacation. And when he comes back, he's going to rinse it. He comes back this week. Walking Dead All-Stars and Callisto Protocol. How is All-Stars doing? Did they change it? Because it was very linear. Like, everyone had the same setup. It didn't really feel like I could change much compared to someone else. AFK Journey, that came out while I was making content on my other channel. It looked interesting, but wasn't my sort of thing. No Man's Land, 7 Deadly Sins, Grand Cross, and Marvel Conquest of Hit Champions. Which one's the one with, is it Marvel Rivals is like the combat game? Schedule 1, I've seen that one, yeah. They have a GTA game like Schedule 1. It was GTA Chinatown Wars was quite a lot like Schedule 1. I don't think you made the I can't say that what it is. I don't think you made the food, but you sold the food. And you traded the food, and like you bought what from one food dispensary and sold to another food dispensary. Solo Leveling Arise. My brother's talked about that as a TV show. He's talked about that quite a lot. Very similar, yeah. I've watched a couple of YouTube videos about it. And what's up, Afro Samurai? Welcome to the stream, bro. I hope you're doing good. You're playing All Stars. I can tell it's changed, has a lot of new content, but yeah, it's a bit linear. Yeah, that was the only issue I really had with the game, was it was a bit linear. I did like the game. The visuals were very nice. Character acquisition was pretty good. You got quite a lot of pulls. It was hard to make content on the game because there's nothing, because it's so linear. It was hard to make content on like what choices to make because there were very few choices to make, you know? And that's what content is all about, is like there's like options and like talking about the options, weighing it up, and it creates a conversation, and that's good for content creators. It's also good for the game. But yeah. The one where you actually control your characters and fight is Injustice, is Conquest of Champions. I think Bretland's been talking about DC Legions or something like that. Has anyone else picked that up? The community manager is the worst. It's legit a bot. I remember the community managers on that game did seem kind of bottish. Is it actually a bot? Marvel Rivals is like Smite, it's meh. I mean, it's got a lot of players. It's doing pretty good. Am I going to be trying Godforge? I'm going to be completely honest. I saw Godforge, the alpha of it. It looked really bad. So they need to make it better. Just straight up, they need to make it better. Because the original when I saw it, I was just like, nah, this looks terrible. It was mainly the point of view that you saw things from. Was like behind the characters, and it was just really weird. It makes company support look good, which is not a good thing. DC Dark Legends, but very much like All Stars. Okay. I think if you're into those characters, like I do like DC characters, you know? I do like Marvel characters. That's what I said when people were messaging me, hey, do you know another game that I can play? If you like Star Wars, go play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. There's a lot of content there. If you like you know, Marvel, go play Marvel Strike Force. Just because there's a lot of game there and it's characters you know, and you'll enjoy that. If you try and pick up something that doesn't have any association and the IP's not there, that's why games make games on IPs, because they can get audience really quickly. Obviously, they don't make as much money, but that's why Raid Shadow Legends is kind of an anomaly. They created their own thing, and they got crazy amount of players, but they did go full advertisement mode, yeah. Been watching a lot of documentaries. I watched a TV show recently that had Kevin Bacon in it. 8 episodes, kind of hilarious. We don't have them in the UK. They're not called the same thing, but the name of it is like Bounty Hunter, or like he basically goes around and finds criminals who are on the run. But something happens, and instead of finding criminals, he finds demons. That's the twist. Should do a Link and Tex collab vid. Link still works for Scopely, so it'd probably be very hard to do a video of her, just because she'd have to get the okay from Scopely, and it'd be very unlikely they'd say yeah. Bondsman, that's it. It was actually a good show. The reason I liked it as well is because it was 30-minute episodes, and it's only 8 episodes. Hopefully it gets renewed, maybe with like 20 episodes, but I like shows that only have 30-minute episodes because I can watch them before bed, and I don't feel like I have to invest a crazy amount of time, and it generally is over quick enough that I can just roll over and go to bed. But if it's a 45-minute hour episode, you know, it's like half a movie. That seems like quite a commitment when I'm on, like, lying in bed, you know. It's on my list. What's on my list? The new season of Black Mirror. I haven't watched it yet, but every time I've gone to watch it, it's like I said, that's the 45-minute thing. And I'm just like, it's 45 minutes. So I think I'm watching a season of Always Sunny at the moment. I love how Tex just showed up. I mean, that's standard Tex. That's standard Tex. He's probably got me on the screen and just he's dealing with some other stuff. He's got like a massive family. He's working. He's probably playing video games. He's probably doing some content. That's Tex. He's busy man. They tanked their RTS game would be an awkward convo. It's less about it being, well, I mean, yeah, but the questions and stuff, it would just potentially make Scopely look bad, so they wouldn't want to have someone from Scopely in that meeting. And then I'd have to have the questions vetted. Like, I'll be honest, I did an interview with someone at Scopely once, and I did the full thing, and it was like a 45-minute interview. It was really good, and I edited it and everything. And then they were like, "Can we check it again?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, if you want." So I sent them the final edit. And they were like, yeah, can you cut all this out? And it was like, it wasn't even like, it was stuff where the person was talking about why they got into gaming. You know? They said, oh, the video's too long. I was like, yeah, this isn't what you're going to dictate, you know? It's up to me to say whether it's too long. You can say this is information that we can't give out. And they did give something, they said you can't talk about this, which makes sense because it was a thing. So it was like a 30-second segment. But then I was asked to cut out like a big 6-minute segment on the intro just to find out why the person got into gaming, what their interests were in gaming, so on and so forth. And it was just so really weird. I thought you were signed to Scopely. I did get offered a job by Scopely, I'll be completely honest. And I got offered a job, I think I got offered a job about 2 years before the game shut down. Maybe 2.5, 3 years before the game shut down. But I declined. I love making content. Even if I'm a small content creator, like right now in my other game, I'm a smaller content creator, but I just enjoy the process of recording a video, editing a video, getting a video out, just seeing how it performs and the analytics and stuff. It's just fun, you know? Did you ever get... Yeah, I've got a really good PC now. I've got a 7950X as my processor. So my processing speeds are really quick. I actually had the 7950X on when I was making RTS content. But I haven't got a new graphics card. I still need a new graphics card. I've been waiting for the prices to come down, which is slow but sure. And I've also wanted to wait until the new graphics cards were out for a little bit because they were bricking people's PCs, which I do not want. You went Intel? No, I'm AMD. I'm AMD. 7950X. So isn't that a Ryzen chip? Look, always secretly worked for Scopely. He just doesn't admit. Yeah, true. True. I've been outed. Now here's the crazy thing, guys. You guys are not gonna believe this, but the majority of content creators, especially the biggest content creators in games, are contracted to the games that they actually make content on, because they need to have their income supplemented. It just needs to happen. Now, it's in their best interest that the game just survives and succeeds. Unfortunately, I didn't have that. I don't think it necessarily would be a massive contract if it was to happen. It would have been like $500 a month or something like that. But I didn't have that. But all the top content creators that you know of every other game, if they're big, they're 100% contracted to that game. Almost definitely contracted to the game some way. And if they're not contracted to the game, they will be not having to spend on the game. They will get stipends. Is it stipends? Is that what you call it in America? Like, when they spend money, they basically show receipts and then they'll get that money back. I didn't spend any money in RTS. I did get rewards as a content creator. I could basically pull for any character I wanted eventually. But I didn't really play like competitively. I didn't try to push into the top factions and stuff. Even though I had like every character in the game, I didn't need to. I was mainly about the content. I would get the new AMD card, 970, or get, yeah. I mean, definitely, I want to get a 9 series, but they were bricking people's PCs originally, right? If you can talk about this, I can talk about anything now. Did you ever receive free stuff from the game? Yeah, coins or tunes to do content on your main account. No, I received characters on my test server. Just every single character I got on the test. It wasn't a test server, it was a test region. I switched to it off my main account. This is what I didn't understand when I was given James by accident on my main region, right? I actually saw this conversation that people were having recently because I was just looking at some old stuff. They didn't seem to realize it was the same account. It's just a different region. Like, you know how you'd switch between like your main region and your mini? It was exactly the same. I just switched between my main region and my test region. But yeah. And then, yeah, I received ultra tokens, advanced tokens. Basically, I could get pretty much whatever I wanted when it comes to tokens to pull for characters. But I only pull characters for content pretty much. I didn't try and use new teams. I used Lone Wolf's team for a very long time. People tried to shit on me because I was using Lone Wolf's team. I could pull every character. I had every character. I was doing that on purpose because I didn't want to flaunt that I had it. I was mainly just doing it for pulls. Hey, what's up, Jamie? Like right now, I play another game called Watcher of Realms. I get around about $200 to $300 worth of currency every month from making content in that, and I'm a small content creator in that game. Very small content creator. Every single game has a content creator program that rewards people for making content on the game. It's just because they want you to make content on the game because it's free advertising for them, and they want you to. That's incentive. It just makes sense. Now, when I first started making RTS content, it didn't exist. I'm an OG content creator in that case. Like, people didn't know how to make videos when I was making videos as easily. But yeah. I noticed when I was in faction, I had some pretty decent defense teams. I'll be honest, I put some decent defense teams up, but my attack teams I chilled on. I didn't want to run through people's defenses too quickly. AMD was not had any issues. Nvidia 50 series that's had trouble. Huh? I was like, what's the graphics cards that have the AI, the AI stuff? There was a new series of graphics cards that came out. I think it was AMD, right? And it was fake how better it was, but it was still better. Oh no, that's the 50 series. Okay, right. That's the newest stuff, right? I take it the game shut down to just... No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, it's awful. I mean, on paper it's good, but yeah. But no, I don't think the game shut down for financial issues. Not in the way you probably think. Like, it didn't shut down because it wasn't making enough money. It wasn't making enough money, but they'd already outsourced the game and they were still making profit. That's the most important thing. Make profit. On a catalog. It's a known brand. It's good. It started getting bad was for another company, which was IUGO. It wasn't bad for well, it was bad for Scopely, but it wasn't like bad enough that the game needed to go for Scopely. I have a 4080. It's nice and works well. The cost was well worth it. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get an older card. I'm not sure what cards. Right now I've got a 1660 Super, and I only got that as like in the meantime. I think it was the minimum requirement for Cyberpunk. It plays most games fine, but the second I play a game that's graphics card intensive, not like CPU intensive. If I play a CPU intensive game, I absolutely destroy it. But shut down because pretty much, yeah. IUGO was the one that was having problems, not Scopely and not, well, RTS was, but it's just a massive decline of RTS. I'm gonna, like I said, I think I've got on the screen why RTS shut down. I'm gonna make a piece of video content on that. Man, this is a lot of content I can make. This isn't gonna be all done in a month or a week or anything. I'm gonna take my time with this. Because also, there's nothing I can really think about what I'm gonna be doing on my channel after this. So I'm in no real rush. You know? So if you see a video pop up from me about RTS, it would be appreciated you jump on and hit a like. I might stream like this every month or something like that as well, just to chat. April, I think it came out August. Because the August 27th or 28th was the anniversary. You also got to think the source code for RTS would be about 10 years old. Yeah. If it came out in August, they probably were working on it for at least a year. The source code's probably older than the actual game. Like, they probably had this, you know, it's an old thing. And they didn't really update it, from what I understand. I got a 4080 Super. Yeah, that's pretty good. But I recommend staying away from those. A lot of issues. I'm seeing on a 4070. It's not the greatest. 4070 Super is 7% better for the same price. It's crazy how old the game actually was. Yeah, I mean, most gacha games, a lot don't even last a year, honestly. So, I mean, it nearly lasted a decade. Was No Man's Land ever a competition with FPS? I assume not, but the same brand. Not really competition. It's kind of like how All Stars was. Quite different. Take care, Cygnus. It's good to see you, bruv. Try to enjoy the gym. The early morning gym. It's actually a good time to go to the gym is early morning, to be honest. I mean, I don't think it stole players away from RTS, but people might have played both. I'm doing hiccups. I think they would have killed it at 10 anyway, probably. I did say at the beginning of last year, January 2024, I said I'd be extremely surprised if this game was alive in 2026. I assumed this year was going to be it. It happened a little bit earlier than I expected. I think it happened about 6 months to a year earlier than I expected. Because I kind of predicted it based on the steady decline of RTS rather than like the one particular part of the machine just imploding. Hard to get behind No Man's Land. You don't like it? You not enjoy the game? The only thing I didn't enjoy about No Man's Land was it was very hands-on. There was very little automated thing. There wasn't like, let's say I had like 50 energy. I actually had to spend that energy. They might have changed it since, but I had to run the stages to spend that energy, and it took time. I couldn't just say, you know, press a button 5 times and it spent all my energy, which is what a lot of gacha games do. And No Man's Land came out only a few months after RTS. I would say, yeah, they gave them a bit of competition. Only as effectively another Walking Dead game. Like, another Walking Dead game that came out was The Walking Dead March to War. And everyone was saying in RTS, so many people were saying, oh, this is going to kill RTS, finally. Like, it was really bizarre kind of rhetoric that was going, but like, and then it came out, and it looked okay, and then I think it died a year later. It's like, yeah. Had a year left on license. I didn't expect that to renew. I mean, it's in Skybound's best interest to renew it, right? It's just free money for Skybound, so they probably would have negotiated. But yeah. Hey, X amount of days, the game is going to be shut. Yeah, that's pretty much what they said. It's like 45 days is what they had to give. Legally, they had to give, yeah, because it was hosted on Google and Apple. Apple and Google are the ones who say that's what has to happen for it to come off their store. They have to announce it in the game. And they also have to get rid of all offers. I think they have to get rid of all offers by 30 days, or they had to get rid of all offers at the same time. Like, I played games, guys, where they said, oh, we're shutting down next week. And it's because they weren't hosted by other people. You know? But I will say that game that I played that shut down next week was an MMORPG. And the last day that game was up is easily one of my fondest memories of that game. Because the devs came onto the server and they did some crazy shit. They made characters like 10 times taller than they should have been, 10 times smaller than they should have been. And they like increased damage of certain things. They spawned world bosses, and they just made it fun memory on that last day. And I said this to Scopely. I said, look, you've got a chance where like on the last days you could just do stuff like you could do stuff that make people like have fun. And no, they did nothing. They did nothing. I mean, they did at War of Champions, but I think they mainly did at War of Champions. See, they knew the game was shutting down when they announced that War of Champions. 900% chance, 9 billion% chance that they knew the game was shutting down the second that War of Champions was announced, or even a couple of weeks before it, because that War of Champions came out of nowhere, way quick, straight after the last War of Champions, and then that War of Champions was it. It was one last cash grab, pretty much. And it should have been obvious. It should have been obvious. It was kind of obvious that something was up. I didn't think it was the game shutting down, but it was kind of obvious. It's sad how most of the TWD games, beside the Telltale ones, have not a crazy bright future. I mean, Telltale's done. There's not any future Telltale stuff. Like, if you want to play a Walking Dead game, play The Walking Dead All-Stars or The Walking Dead No Man's Land. Those are the only ones that are around right now. And they're playable, you know? I had really hoped Scopely would do that for RTS, or just one more on the last month, other than Skeleton Staff. I mean, I'll be completely honest, I think there was Skeleton Staff for the last year and a half. I don't think there was 10 people working on the game. I think it was like... I think at most there was like 6 or 7. At most. Maybe the team was a bit bigger, like, in terms of people who worked on RTS, but also worked on other Scopely games, as, like, maybe house the game, like, behind the scenes, but actually hands-on with RTS, I think it was maybe 5 or less. You know? Because even the person who was the community manager of RTS was also the community manager of Looney Tunes. So it wasn't even, like, dedicated community manager. It was because there was not much to be a community manager for in RTS near the end. No Man's Land sucks. Still haven't found a game like RTS. I mean, it definitely doesn't suck. It is a good game. The war in that game is actually a lot of fun. I like the fact that you can get like these special weapons in the war store. Or at least that's how it was when I left the game. I played all Walking Dead games. I mean, if you liked RTS but yeah. Do you think changing the war format killed the game, or maybe they were trying to get people to stop playing. I think this is going to be a really, really rough take for some people that maybe. I think war itself was really detrimental to the game. Like, the first war, they should have done that every 3 months. But they decided to do it every 2 weeks. I think that was massively problematic. I think war was a massive event, don't get me wrong. But it was too time consuming. It was way too time consuming. I've never seen any gacha game before or since that has expected that kind of commitment in a weekend. You know? It's crazy. Like, I played competitive FPS games. I went to LAN events. I won multiple tournaments. My team was very successful. And we played scrims, like practice games, for 3 or 4 hours a night for 4 or 5 days a week. They were expecting you to commit more time than that in some weekends sometimes. It's mad. It's mad. Even Blitz was too long. I don't know how they could have changed it, really. I don't know how. I think it was just like they I think they tried. They created Onslaught, which was to limit the amount of attacks you had to do to get the top rewards, and make it so you didn't have to commit as much time, but people still had to commit. You know, in the game I play right now, Watcher of Realms, you play 2 wars a week, and you get 5. It used to be 8, but now it's 5 attacks in each war. That's it. 5 attacks in each war. So you only have to attack 10 times a week. And that takes, legitimately, over those 10 attacks, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, like, altogether. And that's if you're, like, really trying hard. If you're not really trying hard, it'll take you no time at all. Nick was the guy in the wheelchair, yeah. Do you know of any game like RTS? I know we're not gonna... I mean, not really. Not that turn-based style. The closest you're gonna get is speed-based content, like Raid Shadow Legends is speed-based, so it's quite similar, but it isn't like one team takes a turn and the other team takes a turn. It's characters take turns based on their speed, I think. In like PvP. If they made war to where you face factions around your faction skill and speed, would have helped. Yeah, I think war should have been game wide all the time. I just think it was very hard for them to design it that way. I'll be honest though, war in itself, the initial design of war was crazy. It was really crazy design, but it was just too much. I don't think they realized the kind of time commitment they were effectively asking people to commit to the game, and that's what lost them a lot of players, without a doubt. Because like raid events, you only had to commit time if you actually wanted to win. If you didn't want to win, you could do a couple of raids a day, and you could get like top milestone reasonably quickly. Level up events was just about playing during the week and getting all your resources as you're playing, and then just blowing them on a level up an event. I guess an SR event was tough. The earlier SR events were tough because free to play only got enough energy if they used all their free to play energy. I think you could miss out on some overnight. Oh man, what was the other event? Walker Hordes. That was my... I really enjoyed that event. Now don't get me, there's a bit of rose tinted glasses there because we didn't get it too often, so it was like I didn't have too many negative experiences. It was just generally reasonably enjoyable experiences. But yeah, war was never good for rewards, like ever, for the amount of time that, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Mr. C's one of these weird people that didn't like Walker Hordes. Like, ever. so weird, man. Boring as ever. I still remember the SR where you got like a 5-star Javi for completing it. And I nearly messed up. I fell asleep doing it. And I had like 2 stages to do. And then I think I reset my entire roster by accident. Like, you reset the health on my entire roster, didn't even realise. Went to bed after completing it, got my Javi, so I got my Javi, just went to bed. And then I woke up the next day, and my coins were just gone. And I was like, what the hell? So I messaged a dev from Scopely. I said, I don't know what happened, my coins are just gone. And they checked my logs, and they said, yeah, you repaired your whole roster a minute and a half before the SR ended. I was like, what? Like, I was half asleep when I did it. It's hilarious. Horse is pretty good. I mean, it was good enough that every 3 months would have been fine. That's all I'm asking for. Every 3 months. I wasn't asking for every other week. But I think what they should have done was like War one weekend, then like Horse the next weekend, Onslaught the next weekend, and then like, or Blitzwar the next weekend, and then Onslaught the next weekend, and then rotate like that. But yeah, whatever. The old war format. Yeah, don't forget the new war format. They didn't make the changes with the idea that people would do that farming. You know, they didn't make the changes thinking people would overkill. I did bring it up though before it was released. I said about the potential of this happening, and they were like, "Yeah, it can happen," but people worked it out reasonably quickly. I remember, I think it was Mr. C's faction actually worked it out first, because I remember saying it in a PC call. I said, you know, one of the factions have worked this out where you can just attack one faction, like one enemy, really like at the same time and get massive points. And I remember, like, the Walkers going that. I was like, huh? This was the first war it came out, and it was like, yeah, they're getting way too many points. And then like past that, obviously people just worked out the real, like, how to min-max it massively. We did it first. Yeah, I mean, they had to. Like, if they saw someone get a lot of points, they had to. Hey, what's up, Kathy? I hate how... No, I mean, in the newer version, that was the thing. You didn't get killed quick if they did overkill you. That was the only good thing. And I think, didn't they change it where you could still attack when you were downed in, like, some of the wars? Or was that Onslaught? Min-maxing was kind of tedious, but I never had to plan it. Yeah, I did join a faction that was really into overkill, and it was really organized, but I was, like, at my least motivated to war. I think I gave him a shout out in a video on there, and I think they highlighted it on their channel. Like, I just wasn't in the same mind frame as them. Onslaught, you could attack you when killed. That's it. Boy. Okay. If anyone comes up with anything else, guys, I have got a Discord. You will see stuff on the Discord. I'm gonna have to actually change stuff on my Discord so that when I highlight RTS people, it doesn't highlight anyone else, and the versa. My Discord is here. If you want to join my Discord, that's the link. I'll be doing an AMA, like it says, as the top one, and I will put a channel in my Discord where you can ask questions. I'll also make a video, and you can ask questions in that area too. So like, it'll be multiple areas where you can ask the questions. And yeah, I think the first video I'm gonna do is why RTS shut down. I'm gonna try and make it reasonably well produced, you know, so because I know it's gonna last a long time, and it'll be a nice way to wrap things up. I use Photoshop and stuff. This makes me miss the game so much more. I miss my group of family of goons. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like I think Steve said earlier, It's just about missing, not necessarily missing the players, just that was what you had the fondest memories of. Would have been interesting if the points changes discussed in PC had ever gone live. Yeah, but so many conversations. I mean, I think that at that point, they were just trying to keep us happy. I reckon they knew the game was shutting down at that point, even, Steve, to be honest. Like, they were just doing that meeting just to shut us up because we wouldn't stop whining. And they were like, yeah, what we'll do is we'll do after the next War of Champions. And then another War of Champions was instantly announced. It's like, all right, we didn't have enough time. So then they didn't say after the next one, but that's what they were kind of, you know. When you mention any role in the shutdown by The Walking Dead's creator, I mean, yeah, sure, but I don't think Robert Kirkland had any input. He wouldn't have shut down the RTS. He was just getting money for free, you know? And it's not like RTS was a bad product for what it was the entire time. It didn't really change enough from an outside perspective. It changed for the players, but it didn't really change much from the outside. Did Scopely ever have an idea or thought of doing different wars? We tried to bring that up. 5-star wars, 6-star wars. But basically, I think the reason that was always like flatline, like the same reason why 5-star arena got removed was because people weren't using their mythics in it. So it was like they're not buying characters to use in it. So, yeah. Like they brought back Walker Hordes and people could use 5 stars in it. And that was actually fun. And the reason they did that, was it Walker Hordes or was it 6 stars? It might have been 6 stars. And the reason they did that is because they didn't scale Walker Hordes with mythics. And it's messed up because they put a lot of time into Walker Hordes, and then they announced the next era, Mythic era, like 6 or 7 months later. And I even said when I was told in the meeting, I was like, "What about Walker Hordes? Is that going to scale up?" They were basically like, "No." So I was like, "So you put all that?" And I was in the meeting with like multiple devs, and I was like, "So you put all that time into designing that without having any scaling options?" It's just like, yeah. But yeah. RTS was a real tech issues, yeah. Spaghetti code. I've seen the term spaghetti code used in a couple of other games now. In a couple of other games. Cheer next time, but next time they're okay. Yeah, kinda. Okay. How long have I been streaming, guys? Nearly 2 hours. We'll make it to the 2-hour mark. So is there anything else you guys can think of when it comes to content I can do? So I'll go through it again. Like, the Ask Me Anything is you can ask me any question. I'm not under NDA anymore. And I'm going to go kind of like scorched earth. So if you have any questions about any particular people, content creators, anything, you ask me about Man in the Moon, I'll say he sucks. It's just any content creator, I don't care. Any person in the community, I don't care. If I know who they are. I'm not going to have questions on my screen if I don't know who the person is. So try and make it relevant. And then if you have any questions about like my like behind the scenes things, anything you want to ask questions about, that'll be that when that happens. Tier lists will be about anything in the game, but if you have any ideas about what tier lists can be made, you can just drop it on the Discord in the RTS chat section. But it will be things like most overpowered characters, my favorite characters, maybe just like the end of the 5-star era, the most powerful characters, mythics, so on and so forth. But I might do other things. I might do fun tier lists, like I could do a tier list of the best community managers or something like that, but I don't know. I think that might be too personal, like a bit too much. But I might talk about community managers if anyone asks me stuff in the Ask Me Anything. The interviews will be of people who are recognizable on this channel, or like reasonably big names within the actual game, talking about certain things. I'm gonna have to obviously think of questions for the specific people, but it'll be about their time in the game, so on and so forth. There won't be too many of those. I've asked Mr. C and Tex, and they're interested. I'll probably ask Man on the Moon, and could maybe ask a couple of other people See what's up. What's up with that? I'll get to that in a second. What other games are there? What other games are there to play? I get asked this quite a lot. And I'll go over probably like other Walking Dead games that there are to play, be it on gacha games like mobile or on PC and so on and so forth. A why RTS shutdown video I think is a good idea. Specific topic history videos. This is all so badly like said. Specific topic videos, I guess, but like it would be like a history of War Champions, a history of RTS events, a history of like RTS, like specific topics in RTS, but a history of those things. And there won't be too many of these. I think War Champions is the only one I've really got as a definite that's going to happen there. The full RTS history timeline is going to be it'll be from when it came out, and it'll be like when the first 5-star was released and who it was. That was 5-star Red Rick, I think. And then I might bring out like the first character I pulled on was on this date. It'll be like Clementine, and then like there'll be some things to do with me, mostly to do with the game though. Like when I started making content, when I first did a stream, when I went full time on content creation in RTS, but it'll be like RTS history, and there'll be some of my stuff like just thrown in there as well. The Locke TWD character lore will be a bit of fluff, and it's basically because I got a character in the game, I'm going to have to make up lore for it. This is an idea from Daylight, so you can hate on him. I look back on certain topics, and this will be like Players United. This is kind of like specific topic history videos actually, but I think the specific topic history videos will be a bit more objective. Like it'll be just like ABC 1, 2, 3, whereas the certain topics video will be about topics that are a little bit more dramatized. Like the first event we talked about earlier, where it was like you had to get them shown head, and it was just so bad. Just kind of reminiscing on some things that were terrible or like really enjoyable. Maybe like the first gate or gates in general, so on and so forth. Unreleased characters. I've got the art of about 10 characters, I think, maybe 15. Maybe a little less actually. I think some of them actually did get released right at the end, so I'm not sure. But I've got a few characters that haven't been released. And then the Ole 180k 2 times $50 attack droid. This is basically just talking about. This is actually kind of certain topic thing. This is just to highlight that Ole was why the coins got destroyed, and that'll be why certain topics like why coins got destroyed in RTS, why 5-star tokens got destroyed, stuff like that. I'm triggered by something. Okay. I've got to make a hate L video. Okay, there we go. That's what we got to do. That's the last one. No one wants it. Alright. True. Okay, so this has been a good chat, guys, for sure. It has been a good chat. 60 likes on the stream as well. I think we peaked at like 45 or 50 viewers, which is pretty cool. If you haven't checked out my other video that I released last week, you can go check that out. It was just me chatting about basically saying hello, how's everybody doing, and me giving part of this planned content. And also I did kind of say about how things went down, just slightly, just reminisced a little bit. You can go check that out. I got quite a lot of likes, quite a lot of views, got a lot of comments. Obviously people talking about, I think there was 1 or 2 on there like, I didn't even know the game had shut down. So I'm saying, like, some people just don't even know. Some people just don't even know. Find Higher L to send him to an enemy lying and saying he's the best blacksmith. Yeah. Like, didn't we say like Earl hated us so much he started like gearing out the walkers because all the walkers started getting better gear? That is it, right? That's actually what started to happen. They started to get reflect mods. It was all gear reflect as well. They're getting like armor so you couldn't crit. guy. Screw Earl, right? Screw Earl. Okay, so I'm not sure how the streams are going to go. The streams are going to be very irregular. But I might do a stream again, like, next month. I'll try and get a couple of pieces of content out before the next stream. Like, at least a few of these kind of either progressed or completed. I'll probably do the AMA video second, where I ask you guys for questions. And then about a month later, I might do the AMA video, just so there's a lot of questions on there. And then in any other content, I'll just highlight, say, hey, don't forget, I've got AMA coming up if you want to ask any questions, sort of thing. Okay? If you want to join my Discords, I did give a link before. I think I've got a link still. I will be putting a channel in the RTS section specifically about questions you want answered with regards to my AMA. That won't happen straight away, but I'll highlight the Discord when that actually comes in. Okay? What's up, Larry? Welcome to the stream. We are about to wrap things up. We've been streaming for about 2 hours. Just chatting as well. Not really doing much else, but just chatting. But it's been fun, guys. It's nice to see some very familiar names. And it's been reasonably fun to just hear the theme song in the background for the last couple of hours. Yeah, nice to see you too, Steve. Good to see some OGs around. Yeah, it's nice to see some familiar names for sure. But yeah, I'll see you in a future stream, guys. Definitely, if you see some content pop up, give it a like, even if you don't have a chance to view it. Maybe you get to view it later on. Give your thoughts on it. Would be appreciated. But that's the end of this little stream, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you very much for the likes on the stream. Appreciate it. Take care. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving. Goodbye, guys. Goodbye.